Hello, welcome. Today, we're going to talk about 3 LDA rules found under the California Business and Professions Code that you might be breaking without even knowing it. One LDA rule is BPC 6410.5, which states that the LDA must use a notice to consumer with prospective clients. Another rule lists out the mandatory language to be used in the LDA's advertising. And the third rule we'll be discussing here is the rule that requires LDAs to not use misleading language on the LDA's business name or advertising. If you find that you're breaking one or all of these rules, keep listening to learn how you can get back on track and in compliance. All right, let's get right into it. Many LDAs offer professional services for form preparation, which are similar to that of the services offered by an attorney. Some LDAs even have business offices that look similar to that of a law firm. So it's not surprising that in some instances, prospective LDA clients who are representing themselves in legal matters might mistakenly think that the LDA helping them is a licensed attorney. In order to avoid clients confusing LDAs with attorneys, LDAs must always identify themselves as an LDA to prospective clients. BPC codes set out specific rules regarding disclosures and procedures that need to be followed to comply with the law with respect to informing and explaining to prospective LDA clients the LDA's role and the kind of services that the LDA can and cannot provide. The first rule we'll talk about is BPC 6410.5, which states, in the first contact with the prospective client for legal services, an LDA must always disclose and state orally, clearly, affirmatively, and expressly that they are a legal document assistant, the trade name of the company, if any, the kind of services being offered by the LDA, the county where the LDA is registered, and the expiration date of the LDA's current registration period. At the outset of making those statements and before signing a contract, the LDA must give the prospective client a copy of the Notice to Consumer set forth by BPC 6410.5, subsection B, for the prospective client to read, sign, and date. This Notice to Consumer lists out the prior oral disclosures referenced above and also includes that the LDA explained to the prospective client that the LDA is not an attorney or a law firm, the LDA cannot represent clients in court and cannot select legal forms for the client, and the clerk's contact information to confirm the LDA's registration. Upon the notice being signed, the LDA must give the prospective client a copy of their signed notice. With the changing times, more and more initial contacts between LDAs and prospective clients are not happening in the office. They're either happening by Zoom meetings and they're being done virtually. And in those cases, the statute further goes on to say that if the first contact is not in person, the legal document assistant shall provide the notice to the prospective client at either the first in-person meeting that they have or mail the notice to the prospective client before entering into a contract or agreement for services or before accepting any compensation. I know some LDAs that even go so far as to putting this notice on their website in addition to complying with the terms of the statute. In terms of the notice's formatting, the notice shall be set forth in black, bold, 12-point font type on a separate white 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper that contains no other print or graphics. So it's just a standalone document. That's the notice to consumer. Remember, the LDA wants to make sure that they're providing this notice to consumer to the clients, not only because it's the law, but also because it clearly sets out the LDA's professional role and to avoid any confusion. And also the notice sets the prospective client's expectations regarding the scope of the services that the LDA can and cannot provide. A link to the notice of consumer will be provided in the description area. In addition to providing this notice to consumers, some LDAs find it helpful to further explain to prospective clients how the LDA's role is contrasted to that of a paralegal. Paralegals are supervised by an attorney in the course of providing legal services to the supervising attorney's clients, as described under BPC 6450. And also the LDA might also want to explain how the LDA role is different from that of a licensed attorney, where an attorney can give legal advice, an attorney can represent the clients before a court of law, and an attorney can select the specific forms to be used in a process. Now, these disclosures, notices, and clarifications are absolutely necessary to avoid the LDA in committing the unlawful practice of law. Now, let's talk about another Business and Professions Code statute that was created for the public's protection. There's an LDA rule that contains specific mandatory language that must appear on LDA advertising or solicitations, and that's Business and Professions Code section 6408.5, subsection A. In order for an LDA to disclose that they are not an attorney and what the scope of the kind of services the LDAs can provide, the guidance provided by BPC 6408.5 says all advertisements or solicitations published, distributed, or broadcast offering legal document assistance services shall include the following statement. I am not an attorney. I can only provide self-help services at your specific direction. This subdivision does not apply to classified or yellow pages, listings, or business directory of 3 lines or less that state only the name, address, and telephone number of the LDA. Under subsection B, it says, if the advertisement or solicitation is in a language other than English, the statement required shall be in the same language as the advertisement or solicitation. Now, I know that many LDAs put this language on their business cards, flyers, brochures, their email signature lines, and their website, in addition to all advertisements or solicitations published, distributed, or broadcasted, offering legal document assistance services. Finally, the third rule that LDA should be aware of to make sure that the LDA is in compliance with the rules is the rules surrounding using appropriate wording in the LDA's business name to avoid confusing the public as to the type of services the LDA offers. So, for example, pursuant to Business and Professions Code section 6411, subsection F, it is unlawful for an LDA to use in the LDA's business name or advertising the words legal aid, legal services, or any similar term that has the likelihood to mislead members of the public about the LDA status as a nonprofit corporation or organization offering legal services without charge or employing licensees of the state bar to provide those services. So hopefully this podcast has been helpful in identifying what the LDA rules are, what required notices LDAs must use with prospective clients, and what language needs to appear on the LDA advertising or business name. These statutes and other business and professional code regulations can be found on www.leginfo.gov under Business and Professions Code section 6400 through 6415. If you found this podcast helpful, you won't want to miss the next ones, so please hit like and subscribe. Thanks.